Saturday afternoon. That means that the NFL draft is finished. The work isn't finished for the 49ers, though. Front office still up there working on undrafted free agents. They've already added a few of those. I'll talk about the undrafted free agents in a show a little bit later after the 49ers have filled out their entire roster. As we speak right now, the 49ers have filled up about 80 of the 90 spots that are open to them in the offseason. Of course, that 80 now includes 9 draftees. 49ers entered this weekend with 11 draft picks. They made a big trade to move up to number 87 to select Jair Brown with their first pick. That gave up 2 of those draft picks, so they finished up picking 9 players total. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan spoke today on Saturday after the 49ers made 6 picks to close the session. And we also had the first ever press conference from the 49ers Director of College Scouting, Tariq Ahmad, along with Assistant General Manager Adam Peters. That was a separate presser with Ahmad and Peters where we got some intel. So I'm going to go just react to some of the stuff that John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, Ahmad, and Adam Peters said at the end of this draft. And then we'll go back to the room and we'll launch a big live. It's going to be fun. So make sure you tune in tonight, like the video, subscribe to the channel, bring your questions for the live a little bit later. Today's first pick for the 49ers was Darrell Luter Jr., South Alabama cornerback. 49ers love his strength. Tariq Ahmad talked about his strength at the Senior Bowl. South Alabama, obviously not a big school. Luter went to junior college at Pearl River in Mississippi. That was the same JC as Tarvarius Moore. So small school background, how to work for everything he got. I mean, it initially started as a 0-star recruit, but Luter really made a name for himself at the Senior Bowl where his play strength, one-on-one against other receivers, was really, really apparent. So that jumped out to Tariq Ahmad. Adam Peters talked about the fact that this is a family man. He's 23, but he's already married, has a kid. So he's a real man, and he's got the emotional maturity that the 49ers like to see out of somebody at this NFL level, because this is a job. So they really like Luter. He's going to be somebody that is competing for a nickelback spot right away. 5'11", but long arms, nearly 33-inch arms for Darrell Luter. That means that he's probably cut from a similar cloth as Samuel Womack III, maybe a little bit taller, so that could give him some more adaptability on the outside. But the strength, the physical strength they talk about, the fact that a South Alabama guy was able to go toe-to-toe with bigger school receivers at the Senior Bowl and overpower a lot of them at the point of attack, that feistiness, that muscle is something that the 49ers will really like in their secondary. So that was Darrell Luter Jr., the first pick today. Then there's Robert Beal Jr. Robert Beal is an edge rusher out of Georgia who, that's the best program in college football right now. And Kirby Smart, Georgia's coach, was glowing about Robert Beal to the 49ers, Shanahan and Lynch. He said, this guy might be limited as far as the nuances of his physical skill set, but boy, and I don't want to make it sound like he's not a good athlete, because he's an excellent athlete. It's the physical skill set as far as, maybe I should say, he might be limited as far as his pass rushing skill set, right? The smaller technical things. So it's technical skill set, not physical skill set. I misspoke there, because his physical skill set is unparalleled. Kirby Smart said, just put this guy up on the edge, let Nick Bosa, let Javon Hargrave occupy blockers on the inside, and let this guy roar around the edge, because he runs a 4.47 40. At 247 pounds. This is a 98th, 99th percentile 40, 10-yard burst kind of guy. Special athlete, but it doesn't have a lot of the counter moves. But who cares about counter moves if Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave are eating up the defense? So in the case of Robert Beal, Kirby Smart told the 49ers, hey, let this guy cook, because you guys have a very talented defensive line. He'll be able to do a lot around them. And the 49ers are totally buying into it. They have a new metric. The R&D department for the 49ers has a new metric called the GTFO factor. You can guess what GTFO means. The GTFO factor is a Chris Kasarik metric. one of the best defensive line coaches in the game. 49ers want to make sure that they supply him with players that he can develop. So they've developed this advanced stat that takes a look at different physical characteristics of edge rushers, and Robert Beal Jr. scored off the charts in the GTFO metric. So the 49ers really think that as a specialty pass rusher, he'll be able to help right away. Come in on third down packages to close out a game, fresh legs, 4.47 40, roar around the edge. That's the vision for Robert Beal. Might be a little bit of a liability against the run, but he's not meant to play the run. They brought him in here to get after the passer with elite athleticism. And coming out of the Georgia, with Kirby Smart saying the things that he did, the 49ers really like that Robert Beal pick late in the 5th round. There's some value there just with that athleticism. More value with athleticism late in the 6th round with a comp pick. That was Dee Winters, linebacker out of TCU. Fast. As you can tell, speed was one of the themes of this draft and of today for the 49ers. Dee Winters also runs a high 4.4 40-yard dash. And this guy had 7.5 sacks last year, so TCU used him as a blitzing weapon. I mean, he would knife through offensive lines, both on the pass rush and against the run. That, I asked him about it today, and Dee Winters said that is his calling card. He loves when blitzes are dialed up because you can use that burst to get through the line of scrimmage. He's a little bit light. That's why he went in the 6th round. He's going to need to add some strength for the NFL level. But Steve Wilks, 49ers' new defensive coordinator, who, by the way, was really, really involved in this draft process, Steve Wilks is going to be able to use him because Wilks likes the blitz. He likes to dial up creative blitzes. So Dee Winters, he can make his name on special teams, just like a lot of these guys. I mean, even Robert Beal, they're talking about a special teams player because he's so fast, which is exceptional for a defensive lineman. That's how you crack the roster, a deep roster, as a rookie in the lower rounds. You're able to deliver on special teams. So 49ers are looking at Dee Winters as a special teams contributor first, but then as a blitzing weapon a little bit later on if he can develop some muscle and fill into that linebacker role for them. He was the late 6th round pick for this football team. Moving into the 7th round, 3 picks, Braden Willis, tight end. More of a blocker than he is a pass catcher, but boy, I mean, this guy averaged over 7 yards after each reception. I mean, he's a mauler in the run blocking game, and he takes that mentality to the receiving game, and the 49ers absolutely believe he can deliver as a receiver in that tight end game. He was already talking about emulating George Kittle. A big part of emulating George Kittle is the yak, and this is a double dip at the tight end position. Cameron Latu went late in the 3rd round for the 49ers, and now Braden Willis goes late in the 7th round. So 2 tight ends who I think they believe can both beat out Charlie Warner and Ross Dwelly. There's at least a chance there to beat out those 2 guys and be the right-hand man, the Robin to George Kittle's Batman. Both Latu and Braden Willis talked a lot about emulating George Kittle, which obviously is music to the 49ers' ears. They want players who take pride in their blocking, who play as violently as Kittle. And in the case of Willis, he's already a great yak monster. Cameron Latu still has more work to do on that front, but obviously Cameron Latu picked higher by the 49ers. They think that the positional conversion that he made from defensive end to tight end at Alabama, they think there's still meat on the bone there. Right? They think that because, he relatively recently switched positions and is new to the offensive side of the football, they think that his rate of improvement is going to be rapid. In the case of Braden Willis, they like some positional versatility there. Played some H-back at Oklahoma. And, with that H-back experience, they think, Ross Dwelly played a little bit of H-back, a little bit of fullback when Kyle Juszczyk was hurt for the 49ers. They think that Willis might be able to bring a similar kind of adaptability, which can be valuable on a roster. Then there's Michigan wide receiver Ronnie Bell in the 7th round. Good football player. Not the fastest, but he's quick. 4.5, 4.40 isn't slow, but he's quick. He is... You look at Ronnie Bell, they're looking at him as a potential punt returner already. He could punch his ticket onto this roster through special teams, which obviously is really important for a 7th round receiver. But he made big catches at Michigan. Ronnie Bell, 60 plus catches, over 800 receiving yards last season playing for Jim Harbaugh. This is a big conference school. This is a guy that the 49ers believe can at least make the practice squad and maybe more, because that final receiving spot, Danny Gray needs to make a big 2nd-year stride to ensure his spot on this football team. Ronnie Bell has done it I think at a higher level in college than Danny Gray did. He might not be as fast. Danny Gray's obviously a speedster. Maybe they don't fill the same role on the roster. Maybe somebody gets hurt. Maybe there are more complications. But I mean, you just look at the comparative advantage that he brings with A, his special teams return adaptability, and B, his ability to make some big catches, quick and short area spaces. You look at the pedigree for Ronnie Bell, you can see that there is a path for him to improve the 49ers. He just has to get stronger over time. But he's already bounced back from a 2021 ACL tear with a nice 60-plus catch season for Michigan last season. Finally, the 49ers rounded out their draft with Jalen Graham. What's interesting here, as I mentioned, Dee Winters, a linebacker. Jalen Graham's a linebacker too. But Jalen Graham out of Purdue, actually the 49ers had an eval battle. They were deciding which linebacker to draft. And Dee Winters, they decided that they preferred Dee Winters. He's faster than Jalen Graham, who runs a 4.6 40, not a 4.4 40. And for, a multitude of reasons, they picked Winters over Graham. So they pick Winters, and that happened in the 6th round, right? Then they get to the 7th round, last pick, 255, and Jalen Graham is still on the board. So they draft him too. So even though Graham lost the competition to Winters, 49ers were able to draft both of these guys. They think both of them actually have good anticipatory twitch to be missiles in the run game and missiles blitzing wise. They both think they can both cover. I mean, speed is a prerequisite for the 49ers, but Winters is definitely, has tested faster than Jalen Graham. So he won that competition, and he is the 49ers higher pick at linebacker, but Jalen Graham's going to have a chance too, and it's going to start at special teams. All right, those are the 49ers, 9 draftees. I'm about to leave the facility right now. Good look here from the BNY Mellon Club. Late in the afternoon, undrafted free agents are rolling in, and a big live is going to be happening tonight. I'll cover all the undrafted free agents in a different video. Wanted to give you the lowdown on what Adam Peters, Tariq Ahmad, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan said about the 9 draftees first, but more content coming soon. Not going to stop working hard. Going to continue grinding here to give you the lowdown on the 49ers draft class. So like and subscribe. We'll talk to you very soon.